Okay, welcome everyone to this special healing session on Sunday. Wonderful to see everybody. I was sharing just before we started recording, and I feel this is only fair to those of you watching the recording. I chose a card for today, and what I got was the star card. And I think this is significant for our time, because there's going to be a part of you right now, whenever we go through eclipse season, you feel like, who moved my food dish? I'm not comfortable. I'm not getting what I need. Especially a lunar eclipse, it's the emotional self. The emotional body is very uncomfortable. So we kind of have to reach inside of ourselves and also reach up high, however that seems to you, wherever you experience your soul to be. Either above you, beyond you, within you, deeper inside of you, wherever that is for you. And I would not take it upon myself to tell you where your soul resides for you, because it's, it's you. But sometimes we create a separation and we think I'm little me and my soul is big me somewhere else. So I think that the message of this is just to remember that there is really no little you or big you. There's just you, and you're endless, and you go on forever. And there's so we're in this temporary existence, but there's this spiritual presence. And so I just think that I got that to call our attention to that. I thought actually I would start. How's everybody doing? Would you like to start with a little meditation first instead of at the end, to pull yourself in to the space? Or what do you want to start with, the information and then do a meditation? What would you like?
Okay, I'll say something. I would love to start with meditation, maybe even bookend the presentation with meditation.
Yeah.
Because for those that prefer it at the end, but I would love to draw in some energy for the space.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So first of all, this is a protected space, no matter what it appears to be. My intention is that it's totally protected for everyone who comes and everyone who tunes in later. So go ahead and just be aware of a magnetic or a magnetism to you. And that magnetic quality pulls and retracts and pulls back into yourself all the little bits and pieces of your energy, from work, from conversations, from thoughts you've had, from experiences you've had, from the hardware store, wherever you've been. You're just going to retract and pull, just like you're a sun pulling your rays in, so that they're all pulled into you. Yeah, and just especially if you're a person who radiates quite a bit to others and thinks of others, you're going to want to just experience that light coming toward you right now. Just imagine that light is all shining inward right now. Yeah, and just let yourself have that spectacular, beautiful energy that is you, your consciousness, returning inward. Can be like a star that is moving, where everything's moving inward. And also be aware of taking a deep breath in, and then just exhale anything that you need to. You can breathe yourself in and exhale anything that is not you. And breathe in the light and peace of you. And release or exhale any of the stress, anything you've taken on from others, anything you can't figure out right now about the world, about your life, and just let it go. Another breath in. And as you exhale, Go ahead and feel a cord of energy from the base of your spine, just extending naturally, very naturally down to the center of the earth and plugging into a place that has your name on it. And feel yourself grounded and anchored. And just understand that even if the people who run around on top of Earth get confused sometimes, the Earth itself is just here and here for you. So, and also the Earth as a different being from you. There are going to be energies you've taken on that are just, they're not right or wrong. They're just incompatible with your system and they're confusing to your system. So we're not poisoning anything. We are releasing what we can't use. And just like we exhale, and the plants can use that for their sustenance, and they exhale something we can use, anything you let go of right now is something the earth can use. So think of it that way. You're not like, oh, I've got this yucky energy I want to let go of. Just anything that's incompatible with you, wiggle your shoulders and just let it roll down your spine and give it to the earth for the earth to regenerate and use. The earth knows so much about composting. The earth is an expert composting agent. So just allow the earth in its wisdom to be able to adapt and utilize any energies that you're sending down. Excellent. Also, just put a little, it can be a transparent bubble around your energy that just lets you know where you end and other people begin. Just so you have that, like a membrane. And you can put a little light around the edge if you like. Perfect. When you're ready, you can come back. And so I want to talk about this eclipse axis a little bit. And whatever you don't get or don't understand about astrology, doesn't really matter, just as long as you get the themes and get a sense of any stories coming to mind about what this has meant to you or what it is, what's occurring in your life. It's really wonderful to be as aware as possible during these eclipse moments because there are wormholes of change and transformation. If we remain stagnant, we die, just like a tree. If it doesn't grow, it begins to decompose. So we are the same. That's why we have these accordion-like expansions and then, solidifications. Does that make sense? So we're always crystallizing. I want this, not this. I would like this, not this so much anymore. And that seems to be what the journey brings us. So we're in a series of eclipses with Scorpio and Taurus. And this has a lot to do with how we survive and how we thrive. It has to do with trust. It has to do with a level of resting in luxury and allowing ourselves to be nurtured and nourished. And because the North Node is in Taurus, what we are going for is what we are hungry for to be nourished with. And we are less encouraged or possibly even attracted. I don't know if I want to use the word attracted because sometimes we're attracted to things we need to let go of, but we're less encouraged on a level of evolution to go for drama, things that poison us, things that poison our trust, things that make us feel we can't survive, things that feel like addictive, compulsive, things that where we're like, I know it seems okay, but I just don't trust it. It's all of that stuff that goes on within the Scorpio level in the South Node right now, that's the place that we're trying to let go, excrete. It's the place where we're becoming free. We're becoming free from obsessive things, were fears. And this, so you might be noticing this in other people or within yourself to a lesser or greater extent. You may even want to be drinking celery juice and detoxing more, and eating more natural produce, or considering it, because that is the axis. We are moving away from and I don't mean to say that the sign of Scorpio is poisonous at all. What I'm saying is, in the South Node, it is a place that doesn't have energy. It's a place we're losing energy, and it's appropriate to lose energy right now because the baton is guiding us toward the direction of sustenance, which is the Taurian area. Think of it as a lush garden. So where in your life are you letting go of thoughts of scarcity and embracing or looking for where you can be most nourished, where there's an abundance, where you can have an opulent, luxurious, and earth-centered experience? So those are some broad things. So a couple weeks ago, we had a solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is weird because it's a new beginning that requires the excising or the cutting away of things, everything I just mentioned, everything that feels like I can't trust anything. There's nothing, this sort of fearful energy. So it's interesting. All eclipse cycles, all full moons and new moons are like, you get an ending that has new beginnings, and you have a beginning that has endings. So right now we are in the culmination or the letting go phase in 2 days of the lunar eclipse, which is going to be the culmination or the fruition of everything you've been working on since we had the solar eclipse in Scorpio 2 weeks ago. It can also be a fruition of things that you had going on. This began in May when we had a new moon in Taurus. But also think about the year 2004, which was the last time we were in this cycle. I mean, this is when the cycle began. And think about anything from those 18 years ago that you're kind of revisiting. You're like, this is weird. I feel like even people who were in my life then, or the thoughts of those people, are coming back, or I'm facing some of the issues from that time. In 2004, I actually lived in a place when I was in Los Angeles I lived in 2 places where I got some toxins in my system that took me years to let go of. So there was actual poisoning that happened. And the other thing is, I had to recognize what I was allowing in my personal space that was toxic to me personally. Not to go into too much detail, but there just were some strange dynamics, and there were some people I needed to get away from in my circle. And, it really became apparent. I was like, wow, I feel like there's a lot of unsafe kinds of energy in my life. So I want you to look at that for you, and because this is the final letting go. This is a very, there's a lot of emotion right now with this full moon in Taurus, but it's well supported in Taurus, although it's not comfortable because the North Node's there and Uranus is there. And both of those energies just want to churn things up and change you, change. So let me pause and see, who is this resonating for? Has anyone had any of these experiences? What are you processing with this? You can off mute if you want and tell me, or you can. Anybody?
I can contribute some experience. Actually, the last number of days feels almost like a trickster spirit is kind of at my heels.
Yeah.
And strange little things have been happening that have just been kind of rattling me. Also, with the holiday season coming up, I have a large family, and there's some communication amongst the family about who's going to be where and what are we doing and do we want to do something and things like that. And felt very strong need and for myself to clear some clutter in my head and heart about some dynamics between siblings before being in the same household and sleeping under the same roof together for a number of days, which isn't going over real easy with the individuals. You know, it's not making it easier as we come towards those days, but felt like really needed to get that kind of a toxic sort of feeling inside of me settled. But part of it was letting people know their part in it for me. And I understand that we all have our own point of view, but felt that compelled to have to share my point of view.
That's awesome. That's good. Yeah. This is, so think of lunar eclipses as a culmination and also the complete ending of a cycle, possibly one from 18 years ago that has been recycling through those 18 years, where every time it comes around, you're like, oh, I don't like this dynamic. I don't care for this, but I don't have the strength inside me yet to cut it off or to absolutely set a boundary. That is what we're in the phase of in the next 2 days, is that complete, like, I think I'm done with this. I think 20 years is long enough to have whatever this is going on. And you may discover there's a weird feeling in between eclipses because everything's rearranging. It's like the tectonic plates of your being are rearranging. And so you don't feel strong and you don't feel clear and you don't feel like you have all the information, because eclipses eclipse, they block the light temporarily, and then a revelation comes and you're like, oh, now I get it fully. I get it. So it feels muddled. It feels like, but it's still happening. No matter how muddled you feel, a profound, I don't know if I want to use upward, downward language, a profound evolution is occurring. So whatever direction that is for you, just know it doesn't matter if you think nothing's happening. It just is. It's happening. And you're probably feeling really uncomfortable because you're like, well, I don't have a handle on what that is. No, but you will. You will. Was there somebody that wanted to say something, or was that my echo?
I'll say something. This is Deborah. I am at a very clear point where boundaries are a dynamic that I'm using to be comfortable in my own skin. Like I'm finally at that point, and I feel good about it.
Awesome. Thank you. So, look, okay, so this is for everybody, including those looking at the recording. 16 degrees of Taurus. So if you're a fixed sign, an Aquarius, a Leo, a Taurus, or Scorpio, with degrees in that area, or even if you don't, you'll feel it somewhere in a reverberation through your being of it's time to change. And one of the things that's happening right now is this feeling like if you can't logically figure out what the next step is or how it's all the puzzle pieces go together, that you're stuck. And that's old thinking. And that's really typical of the energies that we have right now, is feeling like, oh, but I'm the same person I've been, and I don't know, I don't know what to do differently. But this is a very good time to, and it's interesting, we got the star card. It's a very good time to, and this I would say is upward, because we're going to go up to the 7th chakra, and we're just going to tickle this area a little bit here. You can actually physically do this. You don't have to do it while I'm doing it, or you can do it, or you can do it later. But basically you want to clean this area off and just receive what you know, because this is the place where we receive thoughtless knowing, or we receive knowing that is not being driven through the mechanical part of the brain or the mind that has to logically, well, if it's not this, then it's this, and that's where we're getting jammed up and stuck. Is there's a part of us, and this is Saturn, I'm going to call it, I'm going to personify the energies. Saturn is like, oh, no, you don't. You're not changing. How do you know you can do that? You've never done it before. Well, what's your plan? Well, where's the map for that? I don't see anything like that. I don't see anything in your life that is exactly what you said. You want this thing up here? Well, how are you going to get there? There's no bridge to that. So that's the Saturn, and it wants to make you feel stuck. However, the stuck part is not going to win. It's not going to win. Because we have a north node, we have the north node, first of all, has a high appetite for something exotic and new. And there's a part of you that's like, I'm so bored. I'm so bored with it being this way. I want something so different from what I've been experiencing in this prison of the mind that I've created. This is all you get to have inside these 4 square walls. That's the Saturn, the prove it, and the you can't have anything new. And then we also have Uranus, and Uranus is there longer than Saturn. Uranus wins. Ultimately, Uranus is the very uncomfortable change maker who sweeps in like a storm and just says, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, here's a cyclone. I'm going to pick you up and put you down over here. So right now there's this negotiation, but okay, I want to change, but if in case I haven't thought it all out and take another 10 years to figure out exactly what I want and how it's going to look, then I can't have it. And that's just stuck energy. It's an energy. It's a stuck energy. And there's this other energy that's swirling in through you that's going, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And so we have that going. So anytime you get stuck in okay, but how would I do that? And, who would I don't, where it's like the gears are just grinding up in your brain. Allow yourself to go to a higher space. Allow yourself, you can literally open your 7th chakra and just let some new insights come in that can help you where you want to go in your life. So that is really important. And that's where you're going to get the light bulbs of inspiration. The part of you, and we'll call her Venus, that wants to feel like you are enjoying life and like it's easy and you're receiving things that you want to receive and you don't have to ask too hard for them. She's feeling a little squeezed right now in this eclipse. She's in there. And I think that this is a time when you have to be really don't drive yourself too hard. You want to kind of let up on the stuck areas and let some inspiration come in and let yourself be helped. Let energy come in and help you. And also you have to kind of soothe oneself. You've got to take care of you. You've got to give her that part of you that just needs to enjoy life. Give her a little something extra until Venus moves on out of Scorpio, because this is tough. She's getting slammed. So just in brief, what does Saturn want? That's the part of you that wants security and tradition. What does Venus want? She wants love and she wants to enjoy life. What does Mars want? Mars wants satisfaction in acquisition and achievement, and Mars is retrograde. So Mars, there's going to be a part of you that's like, well, let me reinvestigate this that I forgot about. Let me go toward things that I already showed interest in to see what I think about that. I have the energy to do it now. I didn't have the energy before. That's the purpose of a retrograde. And then the North Node just has a big appetite for something totally different. So that's another part of you. So to do some clearings for you who showed up, and this is for the people who show up, and I haven't done clearings before. This is a special session we're doing today. I want to ask you a few questions, and you can journal these out. You can just think about them. You can put a couple in the chat if you want. But what is the new direction for your life? Or it could be like a thing that you want, not just like a huge direction, but what do you think you want for your life? So just get that, and you can either put what that is in the chat if you want to kind of participate that way, or you can let me know. Yeah, there's a comment here, a weird feeling of the desire to let go of some friends lately. Oh, absolutely, because you're in an evolutionary leap, and there may be people in your life that are not supportive of you having this, whatever the next thing is, or whatever that is. Like there was a comment earlier about having new boundaries and setting that up with family. And people, there's nobody like those closest to us to hold us back from changing. So, don't move my food dish in this relationship. So that's very, very common. It's expected. It's not easy though, when you have friendships where you're like, okay, do you see who I've grown to be? And if you don't, how can I receive support? Because a lot of what we need, and this is Venus, also Venus where she is feeling a little uncomfortable, not feeling loved, not feeling seen and heard and taken care of, not feeling she can trust in Scorpio, and with the opposing the full moon. So what direction are you wanting? And then what's in the way? And this I would ask you to put in the chat or tell me. What's in the way of you having this new direction? The reason I need you to tell me is I'm going to base the clearings on what you tell me. So let's see here. Release identifying with scarcity. Wonderful. Tired of living as a victim of pain. Wonderful. And there's changes happening there. Okay, let me just. I'm going to incorporate each person's into clearings. Okay. It's easier for me to just write it down. Okay. I have a question on that for you, Deborah.
Yeah.
It's just to think about. You don't have to answer. In a world where everybody seems to believe, or it's normal for everything to be about fear and separation, and in fact, you're weird if you don't, how much support do you feel you can get? And so we might want to clear any secret agendas around having to touch that program. Okay. And see if
It
this
is a program.
yeah. See if
It
this
is a program.
yeah, see if this makes sense to you, what I'm trying to say. So how popular is it? How normal is it for you to just be you and your glory, and you're in this world, and you're not feeling fearful or separative, and you're just, I love you and you love me, and it's kind of like, it's like that movie years ago, The King of Hearts, where the guy didn't want to go to war, so he took off all his clothes and they put him in the nut house. I mean, it's not
Right.
that's not at all what the world is pumping out through the Muzak. The Muzak system is pumping out a different thing, like be separated, be in judgment.
It's not what I was taught. It's
Yeah.
not what I was taught.
It's not what, yeah. And so let me work with that one a little bit, if I can be creative, just to get to what we really need to do, because I think I could come up with something pretty good for you. Anybody else have something that I've missed? Anything you want to, what's a block that you're letting go of? Okay, yeah, scarcity is coming up. Oh boy, isn't it, with the South Node in Scorpio. Caring for others, but feel like I need to be cared for. Could you say scarcity of love maybe on that one? Would that be accurate? Scarcity of receiving caring, scarcity of enough caring and nurturing for you? Or are those two separate things? Is one, were you referring to more of a financial thing, or other things like scarcity of opportunity? I mean, I can just work with scarcity if you'd like. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. So just first of all, let's just put as much energy into this as possible to clear. So what are the thoughts and emotions that come up for you? And this you can, it actually would be helpful if you put it in the chat as well. When you think there's a scarcity in your life, what thoughts are there and emotions? What are the thoughts and emotions that come with that energy of scarcity? Or pain, or fear and separation, or not enough love? Like what are the specific thoughts? Anything you want to share on that? That's very helpful for clearings. Is there okay, lonesome? Okay, so let me do a couple clearings, and then some thoughts will come to mind, because there are always going to be thoughts that are very specific. So you could have a thought, and I don't want to put that thought in your mouth, but how many of you have ever said, there's just not enough for me, and I can't ask for more? Where is it going to come from? There's just not enough. And I've gotten all I'm going to get, and now it's downhill, and there's just not that much. There's just not that much. Look around you. There's not that much in the world. Or I guess it's just, I'm just going to have to, this is it. This is my life, is being in pain, and, being, separated, isolated because of it. And I don't get this, and I don't get that. There's no companionship. I just, it's just me in this prison existence. I'm using strong language, but I think it's important because finances regarding the future. Oh, it's all going away. Poof, it's going away. Everything's going away and there'll be nothing for me. Everything I've worked for, it's all going away. I can see it, and that's what they're saying. They are saying that. There's evidence all around me that it's going away, that I'm not meant to have anything. Can't you see this? I live on this incredible, abundant earth, and I have the earth holding me and the sun rising every day, but everything's going to go away. I just know it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to say to you, let me just look at anything else that's here. Well, okay, I'm just going to be honest. So those of you who've watched any of these before, there are clouds of thought, just put it that way, or fields of thought that get contributed to. And they also, it's like a muzak that is pumping out across the land. And and they don't make you feel good. It's like, I don't know if you remember muzak or if they still play it, but so I want you to pay attention to a low vibrational energy that is palpable in your world, and that is not you. That energy is not you, and it has thoughts attached to it that sometimes are thoughts you may think once in a while, but when you think that thought, it attaches to this cloud that has a lot of other thoughts similar, and then you just feel so gross. So is that making sense to you as I'm talking about it?
Yeah, it's in that vibration.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And
Yeah.
you have to, this is the whole thing
You have
about
to be
awareness.
aware of it. Yes.
Yeah, awareness is everything right now. And it is the path to freedom.
Yes.
Because not enough people are choosing freedom.
Yes.
Most people are choosing being anesthetized. I can't say the word,
Yes.
but or just, okay, I'm going to be in the fear program. I'm going to put my head down and believe you. Don't believe anything that is not actually happening right this moment for your body in your life. And because that is programming.
Right.
Yeah. So anything else I want to stir up here before we start clearing? Okay, I'm going to do a few general clearings. So everywhere you've decided or you've hooked into energy that says, it's just no use. It's all going downhill. The best is in the past, and it's all going to shit. Everything that is, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Oh, and this is where you say yes.
Yes.
Give me permission. Okay, destroy and uncreate that, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. Just let that go. And feel a little bit of lightening in your energy, or blankness, whatever that is. So what we want to do is we want to clear the content. We want to clear stuff that is, even if you think it's potentially relevant, it may not be relevant to you at all. And more importantly, is it what you desire to have? Okay, and so everywhere, so I want you to just be aware of right now, fear as an energy and where you feel it in your body or your world. Is it in the room with you? Is it near your head? Is it behind you? Is it in front of you? Is it to your side? Is it underneath you? Is it in your nervous system? Is it in your body? So take note of that and let me know where you might be aware of fear right now. It can also be something else like trepidation, insecurity, uncertainty. Sometimes it's felt as fear, like, I don't know, that energy. So just, can everybody tell me they have something? Yeah, lower back, heart chakra. Anybody else? Chest. Oh yeah, okay. Everybody got some, does everybody identify a place where they're feeling something that just doesn't feel? head and outside and around me. Okay. Okay. So I want you to be aware of that energy, and let's just ask that energy where it belongs. So who do you belong to? Is that yours, someone else's, or something else's? What feels the lightest right now? Everybody let me know what you got. I'll do it one more time. So that energy that doesn't feel so great, who does that belong to? Is it yours, someone else's, or something else's? What feels lightest?
Someone else's.
Okay. And there's a something else as well. Okay. So let's return that to sender 1,000 times with consciousness. And I always like to tell people this isn't like throwing a spitball. This is, we are actually commanding that energy back to its inception before it was a thought form. Okay. Just letting you know that we're cleaning for ourselves, and we're not, it's not a sending of a negative energy or anything like that. We are recognizing, oh, there's something that I need to brush off. My being, it doesn't belong with me. I didn't create this. And you know why that energy doesn't feel very good to you is because the things that we really create, that really originate with us, they belong to us. They are our energy. They're part of this creation that we're doing. And so when we've taken on a program from those who raised us, from teachers we had, from society, from television, it's like we're stuffing things into our we're stuffing ourselves full of things that don't really belong there. And we're kind of, then we feel stuffy and stuffed up and full and cluttered and ugh. So my suggestion to you is to notice, as we do a few of these, how you feel without that. It's like we're going to, release layers of things that just don't belong. Yeah. And so, yeah, the political arena is a wonderful one to create separation from, and let it be what it needs to be, but over there. Let it be what it needs to be, but over there as an energy field. You can still vote.
Right.
Okay. So scarcity, feel that as a feeling anywhere around you or near you or through you, or in your bank account or in your relationship sector or anywhere that you're imagining, or your friends. I've got no good friends. I have nobody who gets me. Scarcity. Who does that belong to? Is that yours, someone else's, or something else's? And I'm keeping this really general. What feels the lightest? Or do you feel lighter at any moment that I say that? There's scarcity in my life. Who does that belong to? Is that yours, someone else's, or something else's? What feels the lightest? Or there's not enough for me. There's not enough love, sustenance, money, understanding, support. Who does that belong to? Is that yours, someone else's, or something else's? What feels the lightest? Anybody noticing? It's okay if it's yours. Feel like I can't see everybody. Everybody went silent. What do you need next?
I think it's a program that we took on without realizing that it was never ours to begin with.
Yeah, the one of scarcity.
Yes,
Yeah. And Lynn is mentioning it's hard to figure out. So all the programs you took on when you came into a body as a baby in this world, and all the other lifetimes where this was so, where you decided you have to squinch yourself down and you're receiving to be so small so that you could fit in and be seen and have others even recognize you or
Yes.
acknowledge you in any way. All of that pretzeling and making yourself small and making yourself so scarce, make yourself so small. Children are to be seen and not heard, or not seen at all. Everything that is that you did to you, will you destroy and uncreate it?
yes,
And yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. Take a breath. All the decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions that you are not allowed to be the being that you are in all your expansiveness, because this is a scarce world and you've got to choose scarcity in order to be loved and seen and acknowledged and belong. Everything that brings up in all timelines and dimensions, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it?
yes,
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. So all the agreements that you've signed about scarcity being you in any way, when this is not what you came in for, would you be willing to let that go? Would you be willing to erase, which is what we're doing when we do the clear?
yes.
We're erasing
Mhm.
patterns. So everything that is, destroy and uncreate it in all directions and timelines. Everywhere you've decided it's right, real, and true for things to be scarce for you. And you've got to struggle with it because that's what you're here to do. That's your karma. You've just got to struggle with scarcity in any level where you feel, I just can't, nothing's here for me. Everything that is, just, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes,
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pod, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What else? Okay, let's do one on deserving. I feel that this could be good for everybody. Everywhere you've been matching the level of deserving that your parents had, or someone else primary in your life, or you just had to question it all the time. I don't think I really just don't deserve that much. Everywhere you've matched that and keep yourself at that vibration, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that?
yes,
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And just acknowledge if there is some space in the attic being cleared. Just be aware of you and be aware of, is there more spaciousness? And actually let me know if you're feeling more spaciousness or aware of more spaciousness.
I have more space. This is Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Shining sunlight.
Ah,
Room anymore.
can you say that again?
It's not a dark room anymore.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, so you're starting to feel a light that is you. Yeah, and so I want to see how I want to say this. Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure where I want to go next. I think I just want to see a little bit more where you are. Expanding allowance. Yeah, allowance. And also, if you would, do you get that you came here to be a light in the world that wasn't there before? I mean, do you get that about who you are?
Yes, I get that now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, it's like the world without you, and I'm talking about each and every one of you,
right.
would not have been the same. And how often are we tracking our ripples, the ripples of the presence that we bring? Maybe you're a kind person, maybe you're a hardworking and dutiful person who crosses your T's and dots your I's and is really there for people. Maybe you you're fun. Maybe you're really fun for people around you, and maybe you nurture those around you as well. You know, this is there are times when I think people who came to bring light, and it's not everybody necessarily in the world or not the same quality of light. There are times when you just feel like you're just so unseen and unheard. Like, does it even matter that I've existed? Does it matter what I've been in this world? And I'm telling you that it does matter, and that there's more of that for you to expand into. And so it's possible. How many of you feel like you've been, you know, because we're talking about things like non-deserving and pain and fear, separation, scarcity, how many of you feel like you just can't ask for the life that you would like? To some degree or another, like if you could just be able to just say, you know, I would love to have, you know, people in my life who love me the way that I really want. I would love to be seen and heard. I would love to know that I've rippled out and affected the world in amazing ways that would not have been possible if I didn't exist. I would love to ask for more joy. Now I know our pleasure planet, Venus, is having a hard time today, and for a few more, you know, until she can switch. And that the moon is like, you know, and so that she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, but that's temporary. That's temporary. This hardship is temporary. And so it's a funny time for me to ask that part of you what you really most desire. But if you could, you know, just at least let it come up for you. Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to say, and I don't think I finished this thought, is how much have you been pedaling to keep your head above water, like doing the doggy paddle and just like oh, I'm just treading water. I'm just trying to survive this thing. And you know, how much have you been allowing your spirit to rise and allowing yourself to expand into new and miraculous spaces? Now, why am I saying miraculous? Because Saturn governs reality, and reality is a limitation. Uranus is the, you know, is the freedom maker. It's the energy that comes through and just says, you know, enough with reality as we've known it. We create new forms, because when the old is dying and old forms are a prison, we break out of the prison and we free ourselves. And so what if you're here to create some new ideas, some new forms, some different ways of being that are outside of the prison system. And so there's just, the thing is that, you know, when we live only in, well, when we're absorbing the energy and the information from around us, and we are then accepting it as ours, and then we're going into survival, or I need to just keep afloat. What we're doing is we're just matching that, and we're not
Yes.
bringing in the ideas that would create different forms in the world and
Right.
be something different. And what if you're here because you're curious and you're like, I want to come to this interesting lady, Tamara Childs, and see what she's bringing, because I want a little more of me. I want a little bit more of life. And so it's that part that I hope you can stay connected with after this meeting, and stay connected with every day, because the reality construct is like what we've already done.
It's
And
the
then people-
past. It's
Yeah.
just the past. It's
It
your
is.
history. It's your history, and you just
Yeah.
keep redoing it over and over. Yeah, I believe every bit of everything you said.
Well, and you know, how are we raised? We're
Yes.
taught that this is what you get a portion of dinner. And if
Yes.
you're a good boy or girl, you
Right.
get a portion of dessert, and you don't get seconds unless
Right.
it's a special occasion. And so we are taught to portion
Yes.
everything.
Mhm.
And we are not taught our unlimited nature.
Right.
But you still are an unlimited nature. So I want you to have some awareness of that, and ask yourself, if you knew your miraculous and unlimited nature, what would you create next? What would you allow into your life next? Just doing a little sage. Full moons are a good time for sage.
That's what I believe these times are for now, is to wake up to
Yeah.
your unlimitedness, because you are unlimited. You just were taught differently.
Yeah,
And
these
you
are,
accepted it. And you accepted it.
yeah, we took it in,
Yes.
wore it as us. We wore it
Yes.
as, okay, this is my garment, but it's not your skin. It's a
Right.
garment that you wore.
Right.
And these times are, they're times like the time of the American Revolution, okay? So these are not like your average comfortable, okay, we're all going to just enjoy and everything's, during the American Revolution, what happened? People said, I don't want to pay those taxes. I'm going to go seek a new way. And they created a new way. Now it's time to seek a new way from this. So it's yet another American Revolution time. It's that same, that's what it doesn't matter if you believe in astrology or not, but if you look at astrology, it's about cycles. And that's what I'm looking at here, is we're in a very powerful cycle. And, the civil rights movement happened was planted in the 60s, and then it sprouted again around 2012. And that's when people became much more aware again,
Mhm.
after
Yes.
many years that we have to look at inequities. And
Mhm.
so you see these cycles, these opening, these plantings, and so this is a very powerful time to be alive. And I just want you to just be with the consciousness that you are, really appreciate
Mhm.
who you are, that you're willing to spend, an hour with me on a Sunday when the time changed, to remind yourself of who you are. Okay. Okay, I think Lynn might have to go. Thank you, Lynn. And check your email, because I have something special also that I'm creating. So there's some dates in November and December. I'm offering a special small group transformation life acceleration pod, and it's going to be really intimate. It's going to be kind of like this, where the people who come are the ones who get the clearings and receive, but it's much more specific because it'll really be about you and what you need to open up to next in your life. So I have the dates, but I can put them in an email to you. That might be the best way for me to do this. And just kind of, but it's really time to stop having to do it all alone. Is there anyone who feels that way?
Oh,
That
I
support
do.
would be really,
Yes.
really
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's also because we live in a culture where, you know, like I live in a small town and there are wonderful people here, but not everybody here is interested in more consciousness.
They probably don't know what the word means.
That is possible. That is very possible, Deborah. And so what happens if you are a consciousness person, a person who wants to live more than you were given at birth and through childhood and the programming, is you're always bumping up against that programming. And one thing you need is the support. You need to be around other like-minded people who can really lift you up and want the best for you.
Mhm. Yes.
And really see you as this miraculous energy, the way that I do, because it's there. And yet when we look at the world, all we see is judgment, pretty much.
Mhm.
Oh no, it's climate change. Oh, the politics. Oh, this or that. Oh, you know, I mean, if anybody's ever gone to the doctor, I went to the doctor at one point in my life with an issue, and the doctor said, "Oh, this isn't curable," and now I'm cured. And it's like, and I had to say, okay, I don't think that's true for me. That's not true for me. And indeed, it is no longer true. And so I want you to look at all of the conditions of your life. And I want you to see that your consciousness is as powerful as it. Oh, I don't even have a word for what it is. Your consciousness carves your way.
Mhm.
It's a carving tool. And you absolutely can change the trajectories that are in your life. And if there's a part of you that's like, oh, but it's fuzzy, I don't know, you can clear that. So, you know, there, and I just don't know how many people are telling you this. We're told,
I'm seeking it. That's why I drew this. Like that's what I've been seeking for 3 years. Exactly.
yeah.
And I just keep drawing more and more and more of it.
Yeah.
I'm for all of it. I believe all of that.
And I want to suggest to you something, Sylvia, that what you just said, when I look at that, how much of the fuzzy is other people's information and energy that you're trying to, like, it's like mist and you're just like, oh, I'm just trying to get through this, or smoke or smog. And one of the things that's so important right now is to literally clear everything away that is not in alignment with who you really are and doesn't feel good against your skin. That's what it's very, the reason that eclipses feel like crises is because we're thinking that we don't have the tools to be the consciousness we already are. And so then we're just banging around in this reality sphere with other people and what they think of us, and oh my God, and I haven't pleased this person, so they're mad at me. And what if you didn't have all that going on, so that you could just feel really connected to your spirit, because your spirit's got your back, even if people are too caught up in drama to really be there for you and really reflect to you what you need to see right now to have the life you want to have. And so I just, if you just I don't know if my words have been strong enough in this time, but this is a very powerful moment in time. And it's only going to become more powerful because Pluto's going into Aquarius. Yeah. You see, Sylvia, one little tweak, you're like, oh, I'm not fuzzy whatsoever. Oh, but when I look at that, has anybody ever talked to somebody who's really upset or confused? And after a while, you just feel so confused. Oh God, I feel confused. Oh God, I feel so upset. And oh God, life is awful. And you're like, okay, hold on, hold the phone. That's over there. You're okay. I mean, but I'm telling you, we need this right now to
Yes.
stay clear.
Yes.
And to have a higher level of existence,
Yes.
to have a higher day, a higher week, a higher month, a higher year. And before you know it, you're like, I feel totally different. So if anyone here would be interested in this, I would love to have you. I would love to share this with you. I have two ways that you can contribute to me. It's either $9.97 for the 2 months. It's actually 5 sessions, and one of them is going to be a class, and the others are going to be in-depth clearings for this group. And you can also do 2 payments of $5.97. So I'm just letting you know about this, and I'll also send you out an email. Are there any questions right now about anything that we've done? How are people feeling? You're all muted. Can you not unmute? Oh, processing. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a period where you've been clogged full and worried and kind of a lot going on, where you've just been very caught up in this myopia of things. And then we clear it away and there's a spaciousness. And then you're like, oh, okay, there's room for something new. There's room for a new idea. There's room for an insight. It's kind of like if you took a really cluttered closet or attic and you cleaned it away, and suddenly there's a space to create something new in. You're like, oh, that's an art studio, or oh, that's a dance studio, or oh, that's a cooking space. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you feel happier. So I want you to just take a moment. Let's end, I think, with a closing meditation. Unless there's some other questions or anybody wants to speak. Brian, how are you doing? Are you there? You're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Any other questions, or do you want it? Shall we go to a meditation? Okay. Yeah, so you can go ahead and just close your eyes. Oops. It was interesting. Okay, so just go ahead and close your eyes. And we went through a lot of information today. I feel like a lot more than usual. Go ahead and just say hello to your grounding cord that we set up. And take a deep breath into the spaciousness of you. Just let go anything you don't know about, anything you're unclear about, anything you're just not sure about, anything belonging to somebody else. And bring in a sense of gratitude for who you are. a gratitude for showing up today to be in more consciousness and have more choice. And all that you've accomplished in your life, whether it's being a parent, whether it's having a career, whether it's being able to face each day with courage, whether it's loving your body, even if it's giving you troubles, whether it's resilience. Give yourself a moment of awareness and gratitude for who you really are. Yeah. And also, just be aware in front of you is a bigger space of you that you are moving toward. There is no doubt about it. And all the aches and pains of life that have had you feeling like you can't have anything new. What if that's not true? What if in front of you and before you and around you and coming toward you are some wonderful new awarenesses, experiences, insights, inspirations, support, love, acknowledgement, presence that's yours. Some souls, when they look at being born during a time that has like social and political revolutions, are like, no, thanks. I think I'll go over and vacation somewhere else for a while. But you're here. What are you here doing? What are you here being? I want you to be aware that those energies are special. They're particular. They're specific. And they have an impact. And there's a lot more of you coming forward. So just take in a little light through the top of your head, some gold energy. Just let this kind of cascade down through and give you the next level of insight and courage that you need moving forward. You're doing this. It's happening. And let yourself feel that you. And when you're ready, just come back. Come back to me. Yay. How's everybody feeling?
Good.
So the first date for this group would begin. Oh, I don't have it right in front of me. I think it's next Sunday. I will send out an email. You let me know right away if you would like to be part of it. The next 2 days, I would just, take it easy. It's just a lot. Lunar eclipses are huge, and this one's not. This one's just speaking to everything that's happened in the last 2 years. So there's a lot of energy there, and just now moving forward, I hope that something I've said today has resonated inside of you to let you remember more of who you are and why you came here. And even if it's something nobody ever said to you that way, And so whether it's just like a little bit of a feeling or a little bit of an image, or just choose something right now to anchor, to take on your way with you. So it could be, oh, there's a space in front of me, or what, I don't want to put words in your head, but whatever it is for you. And, if there's something that you appreciated about today's session, I would love to have you just put a word or two in the chat. That would be so helpful. Or you can unmute and say.
I thought it was very, very helpful. I enjoyed everything about it.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad. Yeah. Oh, great. That's so great. Yeah, it's important when we're doing things that shift energy and shift things for you, that there's an acknowledgement and something that anchors that experience. It can be anything, anything what it is for you that you take away, because that is the piece that tells the subconscious, which is that repetitive feeling nature. And, that like, oh, today I feel this way. Oh, I always feel this way in the morning. Oh, nighttime, I always feel this. Oh, when I'm in a group of people, it's like this. That's that repetitive tape where you go, did you see something that just happened here for you? Oh, change program. Okay. And so then that anchors it for the subconscious whenever you have, okay, remember, if you just sit and ground, you start to feel different. Oh, okay. So that becomes part of the new mechanics of who you are on a daily basis, which then allows you to bring in more and more light that you get to use in any way you want. That is what's exciting. So, oh, that's good. Yes. Yes. And also around lunar eclipses, you're going to be aware of other people's emotional bodies too, and the heaviness that people process in different ways at different rates, different awarenesses. And so you might be feeling like a thickness or a heaviness or and think that it's you, and just say, oh, who does that belong to? Oh, there's a heaviness. Is there always a heaviness? No. It's that kind of energy aikido that we have to do with this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you kind of get sucked through a wormhole with other people. Yeah. Okay. Well, I love you all, and thank you so much for coming. And I'll share this video out with the community. And yes, let me know. Let me know if you would be interested in doing this with me. And it'll be really, really an exciting, supportive space for you. So let me know about that. Any last thoughts? Okay. Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
coming.
Thank you, Tamara.
Welcome.